Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And today we have the largest pick a card reading I've ever done here on my channel, and this is actually a topic that was suggested by one of you. So please do remember that on any one of my videos, if there is a topic of a kind of pick a card or whatever kind of content you would like me to do a video on, please do leave your suggestions down in the comments, because I'm always reading the comments and looking at what you guys are saying. So I would love to do more videos and that you guys suggested here. So of course for this one, the topic is what is the best career or careers that for you guys. So just a little note, throughout your whole entire life, you'll probably change your career more than once, because you change, you grow, and you learn from the experiences that you've had. But hopefully with this pick a card, it will give you guys a better sense of what careers might be a good match for you, or avenues that you haven't thought of, especially if you're at a point right now where you're kind of confused about where you're headed, what you want to do. This will hopefully give you guys some ideas of what to do and what to look into. So we have 8 different piles here, starting over here with pile 1 with the Goldstone. We have pile 2 with the moss agate, group 3 with the little citrine, group 4 with a labradorite, group 5 with a rose quartz, group 6 with a Mookaite Jasper, and group 7 with an angel aurora, and then group 8 with a blue Chalcedony. So definitely follow your intuition and select the pile or piles that best call to you. And the timestamps will be down in the description as well as in the comments. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the piles. All right, for those who picked group 1 with the Goldstone, let's go ahead and jump into your reading. Of course, for these readings, I'm going to try to be as sort of like concise as I can, because there are so many of them. So we have the tarot card Strength. We also have the 4 of Fire. We have the Shapeshifter, Transform and Unveil Your Gifts. We have Door to Value. So let's go ahead and move some of these around. We have Confrontation, Pick Your Battles Wisely. We also have Let Love Be Your Beacon. We have Open Your Heart. And we have Focus. We have Artemis, Individuation. And we have Aphrodite, Self-Love. So, just looking over this generally, we have I definitely see like 2 major things here for this pile, and that is definitely on the side of very focused and determined in this sort of theme of archery, as well as sort of the other side being this subject of love. So let's go ahead and get a little bit more specific into these things. So with the Strength card, of course, we are talking about inner strength, bravery, compassion, focus, patience. So you definitely are a very strong and determined person, but you don't necessarily come from a place of like major aggression or anything like that. So one of the things that sort of popped into my mind for this when I was looking at it was sort of this idea of maybe the military. Maybe some of you want to look into a career in the military or something like that. But moving on to the 4 of Fire, we again have this emphasis on focus. So action, concentration, focus, energy, application, practice, increased skill, work ethic, and creative process. So I definitely, a big thing here was definitely sportsmanship. Being a very sporty kind of person. You have a very good work ethic, because you are so focused and determined. Once you decide on something, you really know how to go after it. And so you're also very good at, practicing things. So you are very, once you decide on what it is you want to work on, you will practice and practice and practice until you have it perfect. So again, with the Shapeshifter card, transform and unveil your gifts. So this again has to talk about practice, transformation, close ties to a specific animal, in many born talents that you have. You have some sort of natural talent, whatever it is that you're thinking about, I definitely would say the best path for you as far as your career goes is to definitely have it be something in relation to whatever your natural born gifts are. So really sit down and sort of question what it is that you innately can do super well and you've always been, talented at. But with that said, your talents, while you're born with them, you're not sort of lazy about it. You don't completely rely on that. You definitely work at it and you practice on it. So with the shapeshifter card, this is also saying, you might be seeing a specific animal a lot. You may be an animal spirit guide kind of thing. Definitely look, whatever that animal is, that might also have some additional messages for you as far as, what is that animal good at? Maybe that will tell you a little bit about what sort of career paths might relate to that. I also thought about what came up for me idea-wise for this was sort of like the idea of acting. Because with the shapeshifter, kind of changing your role, being able to sort of shift character a lot. So that made me think of acting. The mention here of like animal medicine. So the spirit animal that comes to you is sort of giving you this sort of medicine. So I also thought of like medicine in the form of animals, maybe like a veterinarian. Now with the door to value, this specifically talks about a new beginning in finance or career. So, and also this creative energy that you have. You definitely have a lot of creative energy here with a lot of fire. So, this is a Leo. This is the fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. And with this card, it's definitely telling me that you definitely are coming to a point where you're going to be changing your career, or maybe finances interest you, maybe a career in finances. Either way, whatever it is that you choose to do, it's definitely going to lead you to a lot of prosperity and abundance as far as, material value. With confrontation, saying pick your battles wisely, this is all about having tact and diplomacy. So maybe some sort of career in diplomacy, being sort of a mediator, diffusing situations. I even thought of like bomb defusal. Almost, or like, I'm pretty sure like companies kind of have a consultant of sorts that kind of deal with any sort of sticky situations, something kind of along those lines. You have a little bit of humor in you, so maybe like comedy is something of an interest of yours. But this is all about kind of avoiding fights. Like it's best for you not to sort of jump into arguments and rush into problems like that. It's best for you to come at it from a very calm, again, focused area, and choosing to, you have strength and you want to stand up for your beliefs, but this is all about choosing what battles that you're going to fight. So don't be falling into like petty little arguments. Instead, focus on the big things that you have around you. Now with these two cards here, they both kind of say something similar in the sense that, let love be your beacon is all about leading with love. So even in like sort of confrontation situations, arguments, or uncomfortable work situations, you can be that person to bring love into the situation, sort of heal problems there. And through like visualization, really being able to bring that love and light from within you outward into the world. Open your heart is all about, also the idea of love. And I also thought of birth, especially with this egg and sort of this joining the characters. So, and then when you have something like Aphrodite here with self-love, of course, this is a reminder that you should always, practice self-love for yourself, because that helps you to gain better romantic relationships. And then of course Aphrodite has to do with romantic love. So all three of these cards made me think of sort of like maybe like a relationship kind of therapist or a couples therapist, something along those lines. Like there's something here that you really, for some of you're very focused on this idea of love, so you want to help in situations like that. Also Aphrodite in the sort of reading here, of course, she's beauty. And, it mentioned painters, poets, writers, musicians, and there was sort of this hinting of creativity and creative process. So some of you, those kind of avenues might appeal to you. But more so, I definitely feel a more closer tied to this idea of sort of like an active career, as in like sports, because you have both Yule and Artemis, who are, I mean, you have 3 archers, so either way you guys are very focused. And of course, Yule is about focus. He's the Norse god of marksman, you know, clear mind, focused intent, stamina for very long-term projects. So anything that has to do with a long-term project you'd be good at because of that focus and determination and the strength there. You know, it also brought up this idea of like traveling to harsh environments. So again, that kind of can tie into military or maybe some sort of thing with travel. Whatever calls to you, maybe that applies. You know, obviously this idea of hunting, huntsmanship. He also, and this is what even leads me more into the idea of sportsman, because obviously archery is a kind of sport. Yule also has to do with skiing, snowshoeing, sleds, so a lot of winter sports might be of interest for some of you. And again, that kind of goes into the idea of born talents. You might have naturally a very good like physique, so you're very good at these kind of natural sports. Artemis is all about really embracing your authentic self. Again, even with Aphrodite, the idea of self-love. So really embracing who you are and those natural born talents you have is very important in whatever you're doing. You know, having a lot of independence. I don't think you're somebody who particularly likes to work under other people. You like to kind of be your own boss. You know, some other things that came up with Artemis was sort of like, that came to mind was like racing, nature, obviously very close tied to nature since she is also a nature goddess, and to the moon. Also pregnancy, because she did help with giving birth to her brother. So, you know, maybe some of you are interested in like being an obstetrician, helping with childbirth, a midwife kind of idea. Also, again, another tie to animals. So animals might be an important part of whatever it is that you're thinking about for career. And so that might be an area that you want to look into. Also, again, coming back to hunting, you might be somebody who wants to do something about like hunting regulations, or maybe like being like a ranger. I'm not sure exactly. Something to do with maybe the laws that have to do with the natural space, the animals, you know, natural national parks, something along those lines. So yes, that is generally what I'm seeing for you guys. For most of you, I think it's definitely this tie between, you know, what the archers here have to say, so that idea of sportsmanship, archery, being very active, you know, a little bit of that nature thing. And then definitely the other side is sort of the love and helping with any sort of love situation. So definitely think about, you know, if any of those apply to you and maybe call to you as far as career goes. So yes, if this reading resonated with you, please do leave a like on this video, leave a comment letting me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. So yes, thank you all so much. I'll see you later. All right, group 2. Let's go ahead and dive into your message. If you are one who picked the Moss Agate, let's go ahead and see what your cards are. So we have the 5 of Cups. We have the 6 of Fire. We have the World. We have Summer, Bask in Joy and Light. We have 7 Deadly Sins, Humanity's Destructive Traits. We have the Big Picture. We have Raw, Power. And then we have Persephone's Cycles. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So starting off with the 5 of Cups. You know, the 5 of Cups is all about loss, grief, self-pity, disappointment, emotional sort of, and it's all coming from an emotion place, not necessarily from a place of, you know, loss in a physical sense or a material sense. You know, this is really telling you that you need to learn from past mistakes, because you've been in this situation, I feel like lately, where you have been grieving a lot. You've been mourning and you've been ignoring the possibilities because you've just been kind of unhappy. And so as far as your career wise, I'm sensing that maybe for some of you, this is a situation where what you're currently doing for your career is not satisfying you. Maybe once upon a time it did, but now it's like most of the cups have spilled over, have fallen over in that sense. And now it's time for you to move forward and find a new path. So you just have to be aware and see that you have 2 other cups readily available to you. So on that sense, we have this card, the 6 of Fire. And so this talks about healing, meditation, especially healing through meditation, negotiation, truce, boundaries, support, diplomacy, needing to be very open-minded, having a good sense of logic and reasoning. Don't be stubborn. This is also talking about justice and laws. So as far as your career goes, for some of you, it could be a sense, I get the sense of like being a therapist, helping on that kind of scale in a personal sense between people, or it's a sense of something larger, maybe, dealing with law, dealing with diplomacy, foreign diplomacy. It's definitely this being in this seat of like a ruler and trying to make peace between different groups of people. So that might be actually an area of interest. And with the 5 of Cups, this tells me, you could be either a fire sign or a water sign. And, you definitely have that connection to your emotional side. And so because of that, you can help other people who have had, I think, these emotional kind of issues, if that is applying to some of you. Now, with the World card, and we actually have more than one kind of imagery here of the world, and this, you basically have the same message coming up twice. So this is what I feel applies the most to all of you. So with the World card, this is really talking about expansion, about opening up, expanding your vision, and contemplating broader options. So I feel like a lot of you have been in this state where you've been just kind of depressed, you've been wallowing in your own sort of mind, and now it's really time, and it's very important for you to come out and start looking at the opportunities before you. So think big. You have unlimited resources abound to you. And then as far as career goes, what this really popped out to me was in this card talking about the internet, technology, social marketing. So I feel like for some of you, and especially looking at the other cards with this kind of emphasis on new ideas, creativity, for some of you, it might be this case where you need to work in sort of the social media field, or maybe create a new kind of social media platform or something that will help and bring and connect people in a new and positive way. Because I can definitely guarantee that there's probably a lot of people out there, myself included, who are kind of sick of how social media, what it's become, and wanting something new, something to change in that sense. So I feel like you guys, for most of you have some sort of idea that maybe is involved in that realm, and you can actually do something to change it. Especially when we have the Summer card, bask in joy and light. So this is about bringing your projects and your plans out into the light. Show them off, show what you're thinking about, share it, manifest it. Having clarity, gaining clarity soon about an issue. But this is also a reminder from your guides and your angels who are with you, you don't need to rush forward. You don't need to rush this process. You can take the time to let the inspiration come. And definitely you're going to have a lot of inspiration that is coming directly from divine sources, and so you really need to pay attention. And definitely your time for this process is going to be here in the summer, and so be very aware of that. With the 7 deadly sins, that kind of goes into what I was thinking about the social media aspect. You could be somebody who's very tired of the sort of destruction and all of those elements of the 7 deadly sins, which you guys can definitely go and look up if you want more specifics. But it's all that idea of just kind of healing the kind of disastrous stuff that has happened now. You want to be kind of that warrior to change things, be that force of change. And you definitely have, the power to do it here with Ra. You know, this is all about you have the power in like loads. So you need to be your most vital self, you know, embrace your creative power, your leadership, your physical power. You know, this also brought up construction. So for some of you, it might be this case where you're more interested in, you know, building, architecture, those kind of aspects, community. Definitely this idea of community, I think, is important to you, and bringing people together, changing things for the better. And, you know, this is your birthright. There's something here that is your birthright to do this. And so you need to honor it and you need to go after it. Also, this brings up meditation again. So for you guys who picked this pile, you definitely need to start doing, if you're not already, a daily sort of meditation practice, because that is going to help you so much, and especially for receiving, you know, this divine inspiration and messages that are coming to you. And even with the, you know, the big picture, this is about, similar to the world, you know, there's more going on than you realize, and so you need to not overthink. Don't be overthinking. Don't be too focused on small, insignificant kind of details and trying to micromanage too much. You need to look from a larger perspective to solve your problems. You need to kind of expand, look at it, or even look from the perspective of somebody else. See another person's viewpoint. That even is brought up here. Understanding both sides of the argument. You really need, that is definitely a skill of yours, and you can really help to bring that out into other people, I think. And finally, of course, we have Persephone, which is cycles. And so it's literally telling you it's time for a change. It's time for you to change your situation. But in that same process, you need to respect, you know, the cycles that you go through. You know, respect your true self. You have to know that, you know, it's perfectly fine that you have felt this way, that you have these feelings, because it's just part of your cycle. You can't be happy all the time, but you also can't be sad all the time and be in this area, this place of sorrow. You need to be able to recognize that it's all part of the process. Pay attention to, you know, the seasonal changes that are happening around you and how that affects other people, I feel like. So that is definitely the big message that I'm getting off from here. I feel like for the majority of you, you should definitely research into starting something of your own, I think. I think it has something to do with community, whether that's on the side of like architecture, maybe some sort of form of writing that brings people together as well, or this idea of technology or diplomacy, you know, therapy. But I especially feel a strong sense of that that wider connectiveness of the world. You probably have something destiny-wise that is involved with this interconnected world that we now have, in maybe ushering in a new possibility for that healing, sort of the chaos that has been going on, trying to show, you know, to, you know, move away from these kind of elements of the 7 deadly sins. So yes, that is your message for this reading. If this resonated for you, definitely leave a like on this video, drop me a comment telling me what you think, you know, subscribe if you would like to see more, turn on that bell notification, all that good stuff. But thank you all so much for joining me for this reading. I hope that it was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. For those who picked group 3 with the Citrine, let's go ahead and dive into your reading. So we have the Empress card. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the 10 of Air. Let's move those right there. Okay. We have card 18, Anxiety. We have White Witch, Be the Light. We have Be True to Your Heart. We have Dragonfly, Live Life to the Fullest. We have Eros, Love. We have Osiris, Renewal. And we have, let's see if I can pronounce this right, Estroth, New Beginnings. Okay. So diving into this. So starting off with the King of Cups. So the King of Cups It's all about compassion, control, balance, you know, being very wise and having this good balance between logic and intuition, understanding, patience. You know, he's a protector, you know, very caring, very aware of the needs of others and other people, also very much in about creativity, obviously emotion. You know, this is about evaluating yourself. You know, this could also symbolize maybe a mature man who might be involved in sort of your path for career, and, you know, a sensitive leader. So that is what this card is about. And overall, your whole theme is definitely going to be big on this, evaluating yourself, really coming into your own authentic, you know, your true self, essentially. And we also have the Empress card, which is definitely about this. So the Empress, you know, she's related to Venus, so maybe check out what sign you have in your Venus, you know, house, as well as, you know, the King of Cups is, of course, the water sign, so you could be a Cancer, some of you could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. You know, the Empress is motherhood, fertility, nature, femininity, expression, also creativity. You have a lot of creativity going on here. Nurturing of others, again, that same idea. You're definitely a very nurturing person, and that could definitely apply to any area of your career, although I do have a big idea about that, what I'm feeling for your career situation. You know, she's also beauty, pregnancy, so again, that idea of maybe helping with births, good fortune, whatever it is that you're going to do, it's definitely going to bring you good fortune if you're following your right path. You know, embrace your ideas. You have a lot of ideas going on here, and so you really need to just go after them. You know, some things that came to mind with this was like teacher, nurse, and the big one, more so than any of these, I feel like a business owner. Like you're coming into this sort of awakening stage where you're gonna become your own person, and a huge part of that process is gonna be not letting other people sway you, because with the anxiety card here, you know, this is talking about worry, distress, stress, and a need to relax and trust yourself. And then some of the other cards here also apply to this idea that, you know, not letting other people sway you. Don't listen to other people, because I feel like for you guys, you've been in this situation where you've listened to other people, you know, because you are such a nurturing and emotional person, you really, you know, care for the people around you, but the people around you, some of them could be, you know, not thinking about your best good. They could be almost like psychic vampires in a sense. And so it's really it's time for you, especially with this 10 of air, you know, coming into your own individuation, self-actualization, liberation, attaining, you know, an altered sense of perception, you know, walking your own path, leaving home, removing your public mask, and really, you know, both the idea of like the public mask and, you know, your private, it's like no longer, like you are just, there's no gonna be like a difference. You're gonna be a whole person now. You know, a very free spirit awakening. I feel like you guys are definitely a group where you're coming into this sense of awakening, both spiritually, you know, physically, on all these aspects. You definitely are coming into that. And especially when we have something like the White Witch here, you know, be the light. This is, you know, take the higher road, choose light. You know, remove yourself from lower energy people. It's time for you to, you know, raise your vibration. You are raising your vibration. You know, the choice is yours. This is all about, you have the freedom to make your choice. Don't let anybody else tell you what you shouldn't be doing or what you should be doing with your life, because you know what is right for you. You know, you need to be able to shine, be your true self, because you have a light to give. You can really help people. I feel like you are a light worker. You know, this whole aspect of the White Witch, you know, Wicca, maybe you have for some of you, you have connections to that. Maybe, you know, it could be a sense that you start your own little business. Maybe you're doing like, you know, oils, you're selling crystals, like who knows. I feel like you're definitely somebody, you're going to be starting your own project. You're starting your own thing. You're going to be coming into it, and you're just going to follow what you truly love. You're going to follow from this place, you know, be true to your heart. And even look at this image. She literally is holding this light. So, harmony and union to make a choice. So really listen to what you feel inside. To best decide and make your choice, you need to use your intuition, not so much logic. I mean, you are somebody who has a very good balance between the intuition and logic, but obviously with this anxiety card, it's whatever the situation has been, you've been following, I think, too much of the logic of others and not so much your own inner intuition. So really question, what do you like? What interests you? What sparks your imagination? Follow your passion. Trust yourself. That is such a big message here, is just to trust yourself. Even the dragonfly is just continuing on with this. Don't be swayed by others. You're very much connected to this element of water. You're, emotionally strong and flexible. Live and trust yourself. Living and trusting yourself is a responsibility, and you need to take on that responsibility now. It's time for you to, rise above and understand what you need to take responsibility for yourself. Know who you are and what it is you want. Do not live in regrets. So that could be also part of this anxiety card. Is like some of you have been making these choices and you've been ignoring what your heart has really been calling you to do, even though if it totally doesn't make sense. This card here is all about understanding the paradox of things and really just coming to embrace them, because our whole entire our world, the humans in themselves, is kind of like a paradox. And so it's time, and you are coming into this time where you're realizing that. And so now it's just for you to just go after exactly what it is you want. I can't say too much specifically of what it is that is, your perfect best career, because you already know what it is. I think that is what this whole big thing here is about. Eros is all about love, obviously, stepping out of chaos, your own personal chaos, and follow love, follow your own love, releasing from negative beliefs, and that includes in relationships and all of that sort of stuff. So this is, you can call on any of these gods or goddesses here to help you in this process. Osiris is renewal, rejuvenation. Physically and mentally, you're going to have this rejuvenation, this renewal, understanding the magic of hope. This is another message here, is you really need to have hope and faith in what it is you trust. This is all about a coming transition, a new beginning. And you even have Ostroth, who is, the spring and dawn deity from the Germanic areas. And so this is all about a fresh start. You are blossoming. You're becoming a new you. So let go of what no longer serves you. Embrace a new venture, a new creative project for yourself. So yeah, I definitely see you guys being a light worker. You can help people. You have so much wonderful creativity and connection to nature. Nature is so important to you. You really need to connect with it more. And you have a lot of wisdom to share. I think you can help people. You could be a teacher. You could be definitely starting your own business, really just going after your own creative project and making a business out of it. I feel like if none of that obviously resonates, I think the big message here is for you guys who pick this group is you already know what you need to do. I think it's just a matter of you stop doubting yourself and letting other people sort of doubt your own path, because you might have been casually mentioning like, oh, I'm interested in this, I've been thinking about doing this, and then people don't take it seriously. They might like, how are you actually going to make that work? Well, no, you can make it work. It's just a matter of you believing in yourself and embracing your light, coming into this new place of who you are and your individual self. So yes, I hope that makes some sort of sense for you guys. I definitely feel a lot of like strong emotion with this. Like, I feel like you guys are about to do something really great. It's definitely tied to a kind of spiritual awakening, and just to go for it. Don't let anything hold you back, because I think you guys can really do some amazing stuff, and it all begins with you. Whatever you work on yourself, and the light that you blossom within is going to spread out to other people around you, and then the right people will be able to see your potential and come and embrace it, you know? So yes, I hope that resonates. And please do leave a like on this video, you know, leave a comment, subscribe if you would like to see more, turn on the bell notification, all that good stuff. But thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I will see you in the next one. For group 4, this will be your reading if you chose the Labradorite stone. So let's go ahead and jump into what your cards are. So we have the 2 of Swords. We have the 6 of Air. We have Deceit reversed. We have the Direction Guardian, choose your path. We have Face your fears, release the power of fear. We have Inner Truths. Maui, Discovery. We have, I want to say Nut, Expansiveness. And of course we have Joan of Arc. So I will say that you guys kind of have a similar reading and kind of theme to the previous group, group 3, so it might be interest for you to go and listen to that group as well. But let's go ahead and start off with the 2 of Swords here. So, because it's really interesting, because the kind of imagery of the 2 of Swords is like a woman blindfolded, and it's interesting because we have that same imagery over here with Face Your Fear, so they are very closely related here. So with the 2 of Swords, this is all about difficult choices and choice, indecision, stalemate, impasse. You know, it's time for you to open your eyes, because it could be the case for some of you where you are wanting to ignore this situation. You're hoping that it's going to go away without you having to deal with anything, but the truth of the matter is that's not going to happen. You have to make a choice, because you are currently caught in the middle. And while neither choice, neither option seems very appealing to you, or it's just very hard to choose from either one, the point here, and I think the overall message, is that you need to make a choice, because it really, no matter what you choose, it's going to be for your best interest, because you're going to be learning something from it. So, you know, this could also is related to balance and partnership, also, you know, friendship or romantic relationships. So there could be, in any one of those situations, some sort of issue happening in some area of your life with that. So it's time for you to really reevaluate whatever that is and sort of find a way to solve it. Now, with the 6 of Air, so we definitely have a lot of air energy here, so you could be an air sign, so Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra. So, and this definitely has a very Libra feel to it. So the 6 of Air is all about finding solutions, you know, coming to comparisons, compromise, having an open mind, being very mindful, illumination, an epiphany of sort, personal power. It's definitely, your whole entire reading is very much big on personal power and how you guys need to definitely step into your personal power. So think about your solar plexus chakra here. And, you know, this is also talking about research, investigation, you know, really coming up with a list of pros and cons. Choosing to take responsibility for whatever it is that you're needing to decide on. So this is definitely about a message here that you need to, while you do need to make a decision about something, it's really vital for you to sort of make a list and really look at all the options and make pros and con lists about it. Really find out, you know, everything about it so that you can better make an informed decision about it. I also felt like I got a sense here with the idea of research and investigation. This could be maybe the message here, maybe the key here for you guys is maybe going back to school, actually, or maybe just learning another skill to help you. That could possibly apply to some of you. Now, with the Deceit reverse, it all is matching up so well. So the Deceit card reverse is all about a deceit or a manipulation from the past that is now over, or it's about to end for you. And especially, I feel like it also brings up self-deceit. And I feel like that is the issue here, is that especially with the, the Two of Swords and that idea of blindfolding yourself and trying to ignore the issue is all part of that concept of self-deceit. So you're coming into a stage now where the self-deceit is going to be over, and you need to come into that. You need to be honest with yourself. It's time to really evaluate and look into what it is that your heart is telling you. So, with the Direction Guardian, choose your path. Connect with your deepest desires. Choose the path that really makes your heart and your soul sing. This is talking about you're at a crossroads, and that's definitely what I feel. You are at this kind of crossroad where you're very confused about where you're supposed to go, and you need to understand, though, that your path isn't set in stone, and it never is. You can choose to go down one path, but it can always change. You don't know. And I definitely feel like there is this sense that you are the kind of person where you want to have all the answers, but now is the time for you not to have all the answers. In fact, you're going to grow more from not having the answers and just going and experiencing. So, and none of the options are wrong, because you're going to learn something from it regardless. So you need to just choose from your heart. Again, this is very similar to the last group, where it was kind of this message of you kind of already know what you need to do. And it's hard to really specify what specific job path is right for you, because especially for this group, it's like I feel like you guys are still in this process of learning who it is that you are, and you need to take that time. You need to take off some of the pressure of just trying to have a firm set answer of what it is you're supposed to do, and really just go out and discover it. So that plays into sort of facing your fears. Release the power of fear. So it's time for you to understand your fears. Work with your shadow self. Understand what is happening there. Be brave, because you can overcome the change and this unknown, any sort of loneliness. You have the power to do that. And your guardians are definitely there backing up 100%. It's just a matter of you removing the blindfold to see the world around you, because there's definitely lots of exciting things for you to see. Same here with the inner truths. The depth of your feelings is immense, and you need to go on your way of understanding what it is you're feeling, because this is a really good sign, because this card talks about the next steps in your path will be revealed soon. And so you just have to stay vigilant to the opportunities. There's going to be opportunities that are going to appear to you, and so you need to embrace them and take that on, because it's going to help show you what is right for you. I also felt like with this card, it's definitely about crystals came to mind, so maybe even geology, earth kind of studies, the natural world. I also thought of stories, like storytelling, because each one of these caves leads off into this own amazing magical world. And so that could be you kind of being the storyteller of wanting to explore these words through whatever medium best suits you, whether that's art or writing or, acting, however it may be. This is definitely all about adventure. Adventure is such a huge thing for you here. And that research, that discovery, so especially when you have Maui here, it's all about being curious. Being curious will help you break down barriers and solve your problems. You have to have this, you need to reignite your curiosity for things and release kind of the... Sorry about that, guys. My dog is always making appearance in my videos. But as I was saying, this is all about... you need to release the fears, and you need to release this expectation that you have to know every single step of your plan and your path, because I think, again, you guys are going to learn more from having a little bit of some mystery, some surprises in your journey here. Traveling might be an important aspect for you, whether your job requires traveling, maybe working in the airplane industry, something like that. Moving on, we have our final two cards here. So, with this expansiveness, this is all about thinking big. You are a star, and you need to embrace that part of yourself. You have unlimited possibilities. It's And it's fine not to know every detail of what it is you're doing. That mystery can add so much, and you can learn so much more from it than trying to plan out everything perfectly. And with the Joan of Arc card here, faith, you have to have a lot of faith. You need to hold on to your dreams. Trust. You were born for this. Whatever it is that calls to your heart, whatever it is that you feel like you've been born with, whatever your dream is, you just need to go after it at this point. And some other ideas that popped up when I was reading this card was, fighting for like women's rights or just like people's rights in general, being that kind of hero for a cause, working in, maybe law or consulting or something kind of like that. That could apply to some of you, but I feel like it's more of this, for you guys who picked this, it's more of this issue of going on a journey. You need to kind of experience more, learn more, so that you can see your direction a little bit more. And through that process, it's going to lead you down all these different other paths. And so you need to remember to take off the blindfold and just release your fear, because you have nothing to, I don't think you have anything to fear in this situation. It might be a scary process, just kind of diving in and taking a leap of faith in a sense here, but I think it's for your guys' best benefits. So again, that is what I'm seeing from this set of cards. Law might be another interesting thing for you, because that element of justice and kind of the Libra feel I'm getting off for here, or maybe something with like health because of the symbol here. So yeah, if this reading resonated for you, definitely do leave a like on this video, drop a comment telling me what you thought. And if you feel so inclined, definitely do subscribe and join the community, turn on the bell notification, all that good stuff. And I hope that this reading was helpful for some of you in some way, shape, or form. So yes, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Everyone, for those who picked the Rose Quartz with group 5, let's go ahead and dive into what your cards are. So we have the Four of Wands, we have the Eight of Fire, we have the Moon card, take note of intuitive messages, we have Indecision Reverse, card 8, we have Trust Your Own Understanding. We have Angel of Miracles, open your heart and expect a miracle. We have Dove, take a leap of faith. We have Vishnu, balance, and then we have Boudica with unity. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So starting off with, the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is all about community, home, celebration, success, needing to let go of any sort of limitations, a lot of happiness, a relaxed home, family, friends, joining with family and friends to celebrate something, completing an important kind of milestone or project here. And so that's like a cause for celebration, as well as, weddings, graduation, a birthday party, anything like that. So some things that really jumped out to me for this card as far as careers go is, something like a party planner or a wedding planner, anything that has to do with dealing with celebrations of that nature. I also thought of photographer, because photographers will often do, wedding photos, anything like that as well. Interior decorator, because that idea of home being important, family, creating a relaxed place for somebody, as well as, kind of like being like a realtor. So dealing with homes, putting families with the right kind of homes, a very kind of loving, celebrating, and happy vibe going on here. So this is really nice. And you have a lot of fire with both these cards right here. So it could be that you are a fire sign. And then with the 8 of fire, this is all about action, change, transformation, transmutation, rebirth, freedom, renewal, renewed purpose, joy, setting yourself free. And you have that as kind of a theme overall for a lot of your cards here. So you're definitely coming into this time where things are going to be really good for you. You're finding, I think, your purpose. And so as far as, again, thinking about jobs in relation to this card, the first thing that really popped out to me was dance. So you might be wanting to be a dancer. Performance of any sort, and that kind of ties into even with the Four of Wands, being a performer, even acting, again with the mask, and we also have that mask imagery over here, so that idea of, playing different roles, putting on a new kind of mask to deal with whatever role it is you're doing. And then we also have this theme when we get into the Moon card, and this is a very similar kind of message to, if you're familiar with the Moon card in the tarot. This is take note of intuitive messages. So use your intuition, practice discernment, see through illusions and blockages. So also when that idea of like seeing through illusions, that kind of tied back for me to that idea of a performer, maybe like kind of illusionist idea, Also psychic gifts, so you might have some psychic powers that might be of use to you. You definitely need to be paying a lot of attention to your intuition, because it's going to help you see through any sort of, secrets, anything that others might be placing on you, especially when we have a card like Trust Your Own Understanding. Which with this card, it's very similar to the Moon card. I think of these two cards in a very similar way. And so, look into the situation before making a commitment. So really understand what is happening. Look for any sort of little signs. Really trust what your gut is telling you about something. And this is also letting you know that everything will be revealed in due time. You don't need to rush. There's no need for you to prove yourself at this point. It's just a matter of being patient and trust what you know and what you feel, because you know what is best for you. You understand what is going on for you. And so I definitely, with both of those cards, and then we have indecision reverse, you are coming out of this time where you have been, you've had trouble. You've been at kind of a crossroads. You haven't been able to make a decision, but now you have a newfound freedom. There is no more indecision for you. You are about to make an important decision, or you have already made an important decision. Obviously, this has to do about, so this is coming in this specific reading, it has to do with what your purpose is, what your career is. I think you're going to go for something that is going to be way more fulfilling for you and bring more happiness for you. So, move forward with purpose and your personal power. Really practice your personal power. And I definitely think you can with a lot of this fire energy happening here. So getting into these two cards here, it's so crazy, because not only do you have the Moon card and the Trust Your Own Understanding, that has to do with getting in touch with your intuition. Here's sort of the green flag from your angels or your guides, whatever it is that you want to believe in, because both of these are so tied together. It's crazy. So starting with Dove, take a leap of faith. And I think that is what you are now deciding to do. And so always have hope. There is always hope. There is always new possibilities for you and miracles. Literally, it's saying about miracles. And you just need to trust the universe. The universe is here. It's guiding you. You have guides helping you. You just have to kind of take a breath and just trust. There's a new beginning here for you. There's joy. There's adventure. And you just have to take that leap and trust that, there is, whether you see it or you believe it or not, there is a net underneath you. And you will be caught if you feel like you're going to stumble. But I don't think you are. I think you guys are definitely going to go very far. Because we also have the Angel of Miracles. Open your heart and expect a miracle. There's literally some sort of miracle coming for you. And so it's really, really important for you at this time to, again, listen to your intuition, but also be looking for synchronicities. There is going to be a ton of synchronicities, and that will help you in knowing, okay, I've made the right decision, because you are going to see these synchronicities, and they're going to help lead you to whatever career path it is that you're looking into. And so especially be having your eyes out for any sort of birds, maybe doves in particular, or a butterfly, you know, flowers, really bright, vibrant flowers appearing around you, animals maybe acting strange around you. This is all signs and messages from your angels letting you know, like, they're here, they are with you. You just have to, you know, trust, take your leap of faith. They are there. They're here to help you. And so finally we get into these two cards, and it's interesting because with Vishnu talking about balance, the idea of balance also came up with the moon card. So I feel at this time it's very, very important for you to rectify any sort of imbalances in your body, your mind, your soul. Especially I was feeling your body. You know, you need to make sure you're taking very good of your body and your health right now. And also just kind of trust and take the middle path. You don't need to go on any one extreme. If you just follow the middle path, you'll end up in the right place that you need to go. And so it's so important for you right now to find balance in any sort of area of your life. So really be looking at everything, and not just balance, but also unity. So with Boudica here, it's talking about you will be victorious. You will have the victory that you want. And it may be the case for some of you that you can't really come to this victory without help. You need to, you know, while sometimes it is good to go on your own and do it on your own, I think in this case, for some of you, it's more important to have teamwork or a partnership of something to help you on your path. And so that's sort of the idea of unity. And also, it also is related to balance, you know, understanding when it is that you need help with something, and to know when that is the best option for you, you have to rely on what you are feeling, what your intuition is. So yes, that is what I'm seeing for you guys, group 5. Hopefully that gives you guys some ideas of maybe areas career-wise that you want to look into. But either way, I think you guys will definitely be finding the right answer for yourself, and it will lead you to a really new and passionate beginning for you. So yes, if this reading resonated with you, please do leave a like on this video, leave a comment letting me know what you think, and if you feel so inclined, definitely feel free to subscribe, turn on the bell notification, and join this little community on my little channel here. So yes, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Group 6, for those who picked the Mookaite Jasper, you guys have a huge stack of cards, so this is going to be interesting. We have the Queen of Wands, we have Faith, we have 6th Chakra, Archangel Metatron in reverse, we also have Woman holding a coin, we have Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action, we have Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded, we have Unicorn, invite serendipity, we also have Knowledge, seek knowledge. We have Perfect Setting. We have, okay, let's see if I can pronounce this one right and not mess it up. Noda. Okay, Perfection. And we have, of course, Hermes, Communication. We also have, let me see. Oh boy, I'm going to mispronounce this, aren't I? Yamea, and then Kuan Yin with Compassion, and she was Hope. So yes, lots of cards and lots of message. So starting off, I definitely feel like the biggest message that is coming out of this group for you guys who picked this is that you need to be way kinder with yourself. I feel like for a lot of you, it's been this situation where you have been very hard on yourself. So when you have, you know, this card especially came out to me. So with the 6th Chakra reverse, this is all about you needing to get clear. You know, there's a lack of personal direction here. You need to break out all negative patterns and thoughts, like definitely thinking very negative about yourself, being way too self-critical, just being very, very harsh on yourself. And so you really need to break out of that, because you guys have you have the potential to have a very good energy here. So you had the Queen of Wands come up. So the Queen of Wands is somebody who is very courageous, you know, courage, determination, joy. That she's a very charming person, and whether you're she or he, doesn't matter. This is just the energy of this, you know, this card. You know, beautiful, dedicated, engaging, attractive, you know, a woman, and this could also be signaling. So if this is not, which I definitely feel like you guys have the potential to embody this kind of energy and be very self-confident, you know who you are on such a very like true and authentic level here, and just owning it. You know, the Queen of Wands she knows how good she is at owning herself, and so she can attract all these other people around her, but she doesn't do it in a way that's like too, you know, egotistical in a sense. So, but this could also signal, especially with this specific reading that we're concentrating on, this could be a woman coming into your life who is going to play a major role in your career moves. So, and that's so crazy because we also have the woman holding a coin, which is literally the same sort of message, in that a female connection in money, health, or value. So meeting some sort of woman that is, you know, coming into a place of business, meeting her in the situation, being a sort of what is the word I'm looking for? Donor, kind of, in a sense, like supporting you in a very financial and positive way. It could also signal, you know, new love or friendship for some of you, or this could also become you if you are a woman in the case of receiving this reading. So, but I am definitely more inclined to think that for you guys, there is going to be somebody who is going to come into your life and really help you with your career moves that you're trying to decide here. She could be a great use, and again, she could be a fire sign, you know, a Sagittarius, a Leo, an Aries possibly. So really keep your eyes out for somebody like that, somebody who's going to be very supportive of you, not only on a, you know, personal level, also a financial level, health level, something along those lines. We also have the Faith card. So this is all about having self-belief, you know, self-confidence, divine connection, trust, also like surrender, serenity. So for you guys, it's definitely this case where you need to really cultivate your own self-belief more. You need to get more in touch with your sixth chakra as well, as far as that, you know, that divine connection goes. And yeah, it's so important for you, for this group. In order to find out what it is you want to do, you have to be able to embrace your self-confidence and self-belief. Also, with the Queen of Wands, what really stood out for me, this card, as far as careers go, definitely music. I've definitely got a vibe here of the arts for a lot of you guys. We'll get more into it, especially even with the woman holding a coin. That just made me think of, like, you know, people who support artists, or, you know, buy art, kind of that sense, that feeling of that kind of like donor support. Now, let's see, what are we going to move on to next here? You know, we also have the Earth Guardian here and the Shaolin Master. So with the Earth Guardian, this is all about you guys needing to connect with the energy of the earth. And you need to make your decisions based on strength and integrity. That's another big message here with a lot of these cards that was coming up more than once, was this idea of integrity. You guys need to really work on what it is. Where is your integrity tied to? What is it that you believe in that case? You know, really approaching things from a grounded approach. You need that connection, especially with that fire energy. You know, the grounding earth energy might help you, or if maybe you're a water sign or an air sign. Either way, you need more of that grounding earth energy for you. This also brought up the idea of, maybe I thought of like a gardener, like working with the earth in that sense, as well as medicine. Actually, medicine popped up for both of these cards. So medicine might be an interesting area, however you want to apply that. So with the Shaolin Master, you know, this is all about being slow, being steady. Take on a gentler approach. You really need to be gentler with yourself and with others if it's the case like that. You know, there's no need for you to rush. And that idea also came up with other cards. There's no need for you to rush into things. You might be very frustrated, and so you're trying to do things too fast. And you can't do that until you've worked on yourself more. You know, the other idea that came up with this was obviously like martial arts. Maybe martial arts might be helpful for you, or that might be an area of interest for you guys. So now when we get into, you know, the knowledge, seek knowledge, and then the unicorn invites serendipity, especially with the knowledge card. This is relying on your knowledge, your past experiences, or this is a call for you to go out and learn more, maybe going back to school or just doing more studying for yourself. So the idea of school came up for me, as well as stories, you know, because she has this book open, she's kind of like dreaming, there's all these things happening. So maybe being a storyteller in some sense, maybe being a writer. I think writing also came up again when we talk about Hermes here. And then with the unicorn, this is about, you have good luck. You know, there is luck on your side. You just have to, again, believe it. You are a very kind of free spirit person, I think. You have this kind of magical sense about you, you know, believing in magic. That is also a very important aspect that you need to work on here. And then, of course, with the perfect setting, this led me even more into that idea of the arts, because she is painting the sky. So some of you might be wanting to be painters or artists of some sort. So this is a reminder that you need to have a good, a goal or a vision about what it is you want to do. And you have to have a lot of positive self-talk, self-affirmations, trust the process. You need to build the perfect environment for yourself. And the only way to build that perfect environment is to start from the inside, and then it will reflect on the outside. So that kind of sense is what's happening here. Again, so much of this has to do with your own internal work. You guys, you kind of beat yourself up too much, and you criticize yourself too much. And so you just need to realize that, which card is it? Oh, right here. So with Noda, you know, perfection. But really what this card is about is that you need to love your own uniqueness and your imperfections, because they're not imperfections. You just have to delight in who you truly are. So stop trying to be what you conceive as a perfect idea of who you're supposed to be. Stop beating yourself up for what you perceive as imperfections, because they're not. They're your strengths. You need to look internally and see that. And so on the idea of strength, one of your strengths might be communication. And so, but in order to do that, you have to develop your emotional intelligence and integrity. Again, we have that idea of integrity coming up. You need to be able to express yourself. Be a good negotiator. So you might also be very good at negotiating things. So any kind of job that requires negotiation, debate, something like that would be good for you. All channels of communication are involved here. So writing, you know, anything that's to do with television, as long as you're trying to communicate a message of some sort, it might be a very good fit for you as far as job wise. But in order to get there, again, you have to, you know, work on what is happening inside you. What have you been beating yourself up about? Because it's time for you to forgive yourself. That's what Kuan Yin is all about. You know, she's compassionate and she's the goddess of mercy. And so this is all about her. She's coming up here telling you and letting you know that you need to forgive yourself, and you need to forgive others. If there's other people that maybe you haven't forgiven, you need to start there, and you need to start with forgiving yourself. Let go of the things that you've done in the past that you're beating yourself up for, because it's in the past now. And so you need to be looking to the future and look at it in a positive sense. And it all starts by having compassion for yourself and for others. And with this card, with Hope, you know, she started off as a goddess of the river, and then she eventually became the goddess of the sea. So she's a very mermaidy kind of image, but she's all about letting you know a wish will be granted. Especially, you know, people would go to her to have their wishes granted, especially what seemed like impossible wishes. So she's somebody that could definitely help you with that. This is also letting you know the possibility of a birth, whether that's the birth of an idea, a project, or maybe a literal birth, like you giving birth to a child, or something along those lines. And don't give up. That is her biggest thing here. It's like, you don't give up. You guys, you have the potential for something really great here, but you have to first start by believing in yourself again in order to achieve it. So yeah, that is what I'm seeing for you guys for this reading. Whew, big reading here. I hope that it was helpful in some sense, and I wish you guys definitely the best of luck on your journey here. And if this resonated, please do remember to leave a like on this video, comment letting me know what you think, and if you feel so inclined, definitely do subscribe, turn on the bell notification if you would like to, join my little channel here and see more. So yes, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. For those who picked group 7 with the Angel Aura Quartz, let's go ahead and see what your cards are. So we have the Fool card. We have the 9 of Air. We have Protection Guardian, drop your shields. We have Financial Constraints. We have Hope and Happiness. Vacation, take time for relaxation and adventure. We have Typhoon, anger / rage. We have Helios with cycles. We also have Isis for protection and Helen of Troy for beauty. So, looking over your cards, let's go ahead and start with the Fool card. So the Fool, of course, is all about innocence, new beginnings, being a free spirit, travel, adventure, pleasure, and passion. So I definitely sense that you guys are coming into a time where you're going to be beginning a new journey of sorts, and you're going to be coming at it with this very youthful and fresh energy. And so the thing that definitely stood out to me with this card was the idea of travel and adventure. So as far as careers go, something that is going to give you those opportunities to travel or adventure or help others sort of plan their traveling. That also, I definitely feel that with the Vacation card, that could also apply. So, helping people plan vacations, or just being in some sort of situation where you can take on these kind of adventures and really, be kind of wild and free in that sense. And also the Vacation card, its message is, you needed to take a rest. You need to rejuvenate and nurture yourself. Going on some sort of vacation trip, whether that's with family, a romantic partner, friends, by yourself, it's just time for you to reconnect in that way. And I think it will bring about a lot of inspiration as far as what you're sort of questioning about your career right now at the moment. So also with this 9 of Air, this is all about self-awareness, universal consciousness, insight, understanding, vision, imagination, creativity. So you really need to know your own mind. You have some creative ideas and passions in that sense. And so you really need to embrace those unique aspects of yourself, those new ideas. And something that came up in my idea for this one, obviously with the creativity, you could be good at any sort of creative field, but also this idea of maybe being like an inventor, like really making and bringing about some sort of new, whether it's a product or a service, something like that along those lines. And with the Protection Guardian, this is all about needing to drop your shields. So shields is in the sense of any sort of shame, resistance, fears, releasing all of those. And that message came out more than once for you guys, this idea of needing to let go of any sort of past embarrassments that might be still haunting you now. Like, you need to just stop with that, especially in the idea of embarrassment. Like, do not hide who you are or your gifts. So as far as your career goes, I feel like there is something that you've naturally been good at, some sort of talent, and maybe you've been embarrassed about it. You've been kind of shy about it. Also with that 9 of Air, this could be something like a psychic power with that third eye open. So you're just you've been very nervous and kind of embarrassed about showing that side of yourself. But now is the time for you to really let it loose, because you were born to shine. This angel in particular is like a female version of the Archangel Michael. So you are stronger than you think. And so it's time for you to really embrace those aspects of yourself and let them shine. Now, with the financial constraints, there's a couple cards here that I feel maybe don't so much apply to you, but more so maybe how you can help others. And so with the financial constraints, if this is talking about yourself, this is just, there might be some restrictions concerning money right now. And so you really need to rein in your spending and be very conservative about how you spend. What is it, that question of wants versus needs? Definitely be thinking about what you actually need and what is just a want. The other thing that really came out to me with this was more so maybe you are somebody who can really help others who have sort of money problems. You can help guide them in the right way to use their money and something along those lines. Now, with hope and happiness, this is generally just, I definitely feel this is a little bit connected to how the Fool feels. And this is just, you're coming at a time now where there's a lot of healing energy for you. There's new progress, new satisfaction, letting worries from the past fade away and just celebrating your life. Just go after it. Just do the leap of faith. Just go after it. Just do what it is that you want to do, what you feel like. Have that vacation time. Reconnect with nature in that way. And so on the side of another card that I feel may not so much apply to you, but maybe how you can help others, is this Typhoon card. So Typhoon is anger/rage. This is all about how are you handling your emotions? How are you handling rage? How are you handling rage or anger? And really needing to understand how to balance emotionally. How do you balance emotions? And this card is also a reminder, like rage, anger, those kind of emotions, they're not bad. They're not inherently bad. We have to have them. We have to feel them. You need to remember, allow yourself to feel anger. Know that kind of knowledge. Like, it's necessary. But there is a line where can become a problem. So you need to understand where that line is. And so I felt like on the same side of like kind of helping people who might have money issues, this could also be a card indicating that some of you might be very good at helping people who have these sort of emotional difficulties, helping people maybe who have anger issues, things like that, maybe like consulting in that sense, or maybe therapy in that sense. So we also have Helios here with cycles, and this is sort of the masculine counterpart as far as like these decks go, these goddess and gods deck. This is kind of the goddess deck that relates to this same concept is Persephone, which actually we had that card pop up for a different reading. I can't remember which one it was, but this one, this is all about knowing your personal patterns, your cycles, also reconnecting, looking to nature and understanding how the cycles work there, and using the cycles of nature to renew yourself, to vitalize yourself. And so that could also apply to this idea of, the anger and the rage. Understand, your emotions are a cycle. You will go through those times where you're happy, where you're sad, where you're angry, and it's all a natural part of it. So just understand the balance of that. And of course, our final two cards here are Helen of Troy and Isis. So with Helen of Troy, this is all about embracing your unique beauty. Do not go and compare yourself to the standards or what seem to be the perceived standards of, what is beauty. Like, beauty is such a... everybody has their own definition of beauty. In fact, I was just watching a video that was talking about different beauty standards across different cultures around the world, and they're all so completely different, and so there is no standard. What really matters is that you embrace the beauty that you have, outwardly, inner, just embrace who you are, your uniqueness. That kind of message also came up with the previous group, but in a more, I think with the previous group, it was more of a serious, like a bigger issue for them. With you guys, it's not as bad of a problem. I definitely think there are some things that you have to, more like kind of embarrassment, like kind of shy things. This definitely feels like more of a shy kind of like, oh, I'm kind of afraid to show all of myself. I'm kind of a little bit more insecure about maybe your looks. You know, you feel like you have to compare yourself to others because maybe other people have made you feel that way. But you just have to remember, you have to go back to your own knowledge and your own understanding that's only a construct, and everybody's idea is completely different. And so what really matters is just you knowing who you are and just embracing what it is. And so again, with Isis, we have that idea of healing come up again. So healing might be an important area for you to look into as far as career goes. But, you know, there's this healing energy again around you. Also a very motherly energy. So you could definitely be a good mother to others, or you have that motherly energy. You know, magic is happening right now. So embrace the magic that is around you. Maybe embracing that psychic side. And you are protected. You have a lot of protection happening here. So, I mean, both like Isis and then this sort of feminine Michael coming around, like that's some very strong protection kind of guardians. Your angels are around you. They're helping you. They're protecting you. And so you just need to obviously take a little bit of a time out, kind of just go and enjoy life, go and explore, travel, have that adventure, be very youthful and just excited to go and see things. And that will definitely help you in pointing you in a new direction for maybe where you want to take your career in. So yes, that is what I'm seeing for you guys, group 7. If this reading resonated for you, please do leave a like on this video, comment letting me know what you think, and if you feel so inclined, definitely do subscribe, turn on the bell notification, and join my little channel here, and stay tuned for more. So yes, thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Alright guys, for those who picked group 8, the final group in this video with the blue Chalcedony, let's go ahead and jump into your cards. So, we have the 2 of Cups, we have the Star card, we also have the 5 of Water, we have Man holding a heart, we have Mountain, stand your ground, we also have Eagle, see from a higher perspective, and we have Snake, shed old skin. We also have Fresh approach. We have Animal Bond, stand up for all animals. We have Cananus with shapeshifting. And then finally, we have Sirens with temptation. So let's go ahead and dive into this, starting with the Star card. So, you know, the Star card is all about regaining hope, faith, inspiration, security, or serenity, you know, being very generous, rejuvenation, resilience. So you guys will definitely be, you know, needing to come into that time to embrace that, because with the 5 of Water, you know, this is very similar to the 5 of Cups in the tarot, and we've actually had that card already pop up for one of the earlier groups in this video. I can't remember which one, but that might be, you know, you could have been somebody who also picked that group. But with the 5 of Water, you know, this is talking about loss, betrayal, fear, doubt, hopelessness, isolation, self-pity, blame, confusion, you know. So this could definitely be something that you have been dealing with for quite a while. And the important thing here to remember is that you need to work through the grief. It's perfectly fine for you to feel that and to work with it. It's just a reminder not to wallow in it. This could also be a message that maybe as far as career goes, you could be somebody who's very good at helping people who are in this sort of state. But you can definitely, you know, you're going to come out of it and you're going to be like the star. You've overcome so many challenges, and that came up quite a few times in here, was sort of overcoming these personal challenges, these really rough, kind of difficult times in your life, and you're going to come out of it with so much more, you know, shining. You're going to be like a star, literally. And then we also have the 2 of Cups. So this is pretty interesting because we have quite a few like love kind of readings coming off here for this group. But the 2 of Cups, you know, could refer to soulmates. It could refer to, you know, a new kind of connection, a new kind of union, and partnership. So whether that partnership is romantic or otherwise, this could mean, as far as your career goes, that maybe one, through your career, you could find the person that you're meant to be with. Two, it could just mean that to sort of do your best work for your career, whatever that may be, you need a sort of partnership, somebody to help you with it, that balance of these, these different elements, working with that. Yeah, so even on that same note, when we have something like the man holding a heart, this is specifically talking about a male dealing with family, love, or emotions. So this could be a man who, can help you on your career path. It might be related to love. It might be related to your family. It might be just something to help you as far as like helping you deal with any sort of emotion issues that you might be feeling with. And, talking about having balance. This is somebody that's going to really help and balance things out, bring about a lot of balance for you in those sort of areas, in those situations. This could also just talking about like coming into a point where you're going to have better balance and union and harmony with family or friends, whatever it may be that applies appropriately to you personally. And then we get into these three cards. So, with the mountain, stand your ground. This is hold firm to what you believe. You have certain ideas about who you are, what it is you want to do, and so you just need to hold on to those. Don't be swayed. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But on that same note, it could be the case where you have to learn to see from a higher perspective. So make sure that whatever your beliefs are, that you're able to rise above and be able to look at it from a very objective sort of viewpoint, as well as other people's viewpoints, being more kind of open-minded in that sense and being able to see everything from sort of like a distance, kind of similar to the idea of like the fresh approach. I feel like these two are definitely connected. And then also with the snake, shed old skin. This is about obviously shedding any sort of old beliefs, old patterns about yourself, and really coming to this point where you embrace who you truly are, who is your true self, and really coming to own that and come into that, which is that message has come up quite a lot for many groups, which it makes sense when we're talking about something like what is the best career for you. Really, the biggest answer, it lies within yourself. And so in order to get to that point, you have to be able to embrace who you are. And so, with the fresh approach, this is telling you, obviously, there's some sort of new beginning happening here. You're coming into this time where you're going to be, again, shedding your old skin. You're going to be starting anew. And so in this time, don't feel limited on what you can do. If there's multiple things you want to pursue, multiple things you want to go after, maybe even going into business with somebody could be a point, do it. Don't feel limited to make just one choice. And don't worry about failing. Whatever choice you make, there is no wrong choices for you. And I love this card because one of the big questions it asks is, what would you do if failing wasn't an issue? What would you go after if you wouldn't fail at it? You didn't have that fear of failing. So however you may answer that, obviously that is something maybe you should go after. Don't worry about failing. Failing is not an option here. You won't fail because in the end, you're always going to learn something from it. It's going to help you grow and continue on your path. And I think you are getting a much stronger and clearer idea about what your path is with this star card. And then with the animal bond, this is pretty kind of self-explanatory as far as like maybe career-wise. Animal bond, stand up for all animals. For some of you have a very, very close and tied bond to animals. You really love them. You really feel with them. So, protect animals, protecting wildlife, maybe being like a veterinarian or being kind of like a zoologist or marine biologist, working with animals in general. This would also just be a message that, maybe just taking more time to volunteer at like animal shelters, just going online and like communicating and engaging with that argument as far as like conservation and wildlife goes, because who knows, even if it's just in the case of like volunteering and just going online, for all you know, that could lead to something career-wise for you. I just think if for some of you, if you feel like this definitely applies to you, you have this really strong bond with animals, you need to definitely follow this path and see where it will lead you. And on that same note, I mean, you have Canernus here. Canernus, hopefully I'm saying that right, with shapeshifting. And so, you know, this is all about change. You can, a reminder of, you can be exactly who you want to be. And so just to go after that. Also with shapeshifting, it can make me think of any sort of performance, and you know, I kind of relate it to acting in a sense, but I don't feel that as strongly for you guys in this group. I don't feel that as much. Even though we do have cups, which has to do with creativity, and we had creativity come up here, I don't really feel like you guys are very, not necessarily acting. There's actually something else I see in this reading for some of you maybe. But definitely not connection to animals. And what's really funny is, you know, stag, like the image of a stag, the animal stag might be of importance to you, as well as another symbol for him is snake. And that is kind of crazy because we have literally the snake shedding old skin. Those two, their message is very similar, I think, to what you're saying. It's all about, you know, kind of shedding the old, coming to renewal, and embracing who you are, your true authentic kind of self. And then with sirens, so the thing maybe on that side that I was just talking about, obviously maybe for some of you, you have a really good voice, like a good singing voice. Singing might be a great option for you. Or it just is that you have a unique voice and that you can speak out in that sense. Also with the Siren this is a very interesting card because it could, for some of you, it could be a warning. Some of you, it can mean something completely different. So kind of going over that, you know, one side of this is saying, don't be tempted to stray from your goals or your intentions. So stay on point. Know exactly what it is that you want to go after. What is your North Star? And stay on that path. Don't be swayed by anybody or anything to like tell you that you should go otherwise, you know? You are, you know, this could also mean you are receiving, you know, an offer that might be like very hard to turn down. But on that note, if you are kind of receiving this offer, make sure that you are really like scrutinizing it. It goes back to that, you know, maybe also these two cards. So the stand your ground and the see from a higher perspective. So really look at whatever this offer is, judge it, you know, check out, see if there's any sort of hidden things about it that you're not aware of, and judge if it is right for you. If it is, and it does match up with what your goal or your intention is, then definitely go for it, because, you know, it could be something on the line of this partnership or this, you know, maybe a romance of some sort. Go for it. But if it doesn't match up, if there's something about it that you don't like, or your intuition is telling you, no, this isn't right, this doesn't match up with what I want to do, then just don't go after it. Just let the offer pass. This is also a reminder with the Sirens card that you can attract, like, don't underestimate how many people you can attract to yourself and to your cause. You know, you can definitely attract people to what it is you're doing, what your message is. That again goes back to the idea of communication. You have a unique voice. And, you know, the other thing about the Sirens card, this could also just be a message of follow your heart. And that definitely can match up for a lot of you, because that kind of is already coming up here. You even have the man holding a heart. Follow your heart, because it's not going to lead you in any sort of in a wrong path for yourself. There is no wrong path. You just have to listen to what's internal. You know, as far as, you know, you might have been through some rough things, but now you're coming out of it. You've shed your old skin. You're going to be working. You're going to know what your ground is. You're going to have that better idea of what it is you're doing from taking this higher perspective. And there's definitely the possibility for this group that there's something involved with your career that could also be involved in a love relationship. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. If this reading resonated, please do leave a like on this video, as well as a comment letting me know what you think. And if you feel so inclined, definitely do subscribe and turn on that bell notification and join my little channel here. So yes, thank you all so much for joining me for this reading, and I will see you in the next one.